Hello Internet, today we're going to talk about books, namely these books right here. So it took me about 2 years to write this big, thick 34 page book, 432 page, 433, yes, 434 pages book. And then it took another year to figure out how to publish it. And that was a fun learning curve. And we got that published about a year ago, maybe a little bit more. Ended up with this nice black and white book right here that sells namely on Amazon for not a bad price. In Canada, less than 20 bucks. In the US, I think it's around 16. And then Australia, the UK, that kind of thing has different prices as well, depending on exchange rates at the moment. However, we have some new exciting news. So what you're going to see is that these two books in front of me are slightly different despite having the same content on the inside. You'll notice that there is a little difference in the writing on the back of it because they're published by two different companies. Amazon publishes the black and white one, and as of about a week or two ago, we officially have colored copies of Claire. It only took me 1 extra year to figure out how to publish in color, but we figured it out. So if we do a little side-by-side comparison here, let's just run the numbers. So this is page 366. A nice picture in a tent with a friend of mine. So that is, let me see if I can get that, the black and white version where the pictures, I wonder if this will even, it's kind of close for the focus. Anyways, that is the black and white version. And that is the color version. So as you can see, the color version is considerably nicer than the black and white version. If we jump ahead to another page, let's see what's going on. Oh, this is a good one. This is the trek over Machu Picchu on the bike the day it was snowing excessively. So if you look there, you will see that in the black and white version, you can't quite tell that on the screen of the bike, the windshield on the bike is covered in ice actually during that pass. It was quite a cold day. I think we were like at 15,000 feet or something, and the snow was all over the roads and there was ice all over the bike. And then next to it's a picture that Angie took of a nice lady in Peru with her kid on her back. So if you get the color version, you'll see that it is much nicer. However, the content is still amazing in both of them. So if you already have a black and white one, then you are in luck because you had such a great time reading it. However, if you're thinking about getting color, they're now available. It's listed on Barnes & Noble in the US would be the main website to get it out of, as well as the UK. And we've revamped the KixMarshall.com website in anticipation of our next trip. So if you go to 𝗔𝗯cie_𝗂𝗵𝗹𝗋, you will see the links to where to get the black and white one for a bit cheaper, or the color one, which is a bit nicer for a little bit more money. And yeah, it took a little while to figure out how to get it on Barnes & Noble, but we are there. It's also on a lot of other websites too, but I don't remember the names of all those ones. So I would say Barnes & Noble and Amazon would be your two best bets in this case. I would also like to note that if you're wondering if the paper quality or the color ink is actually more in black and white versus color, what I did is I tested this out and I brought a little scale along with me. So if we go and check the scale, so this is in ounces right now with the black and white book on there, and you'll see the black and white book is 22.96 ounces. So if we switch and we put the color book on there, you'll see it's 28.11 ounces. So if you're someone who's really concerned about the value of what's inside the book, you're in luck, because if you buy the color one, you're going to get not only more paper weight, and more colored ink, you're going to get some great colored pictures as well. Just try and get the adjustment just right here so you can see my pretty face. So that will be great. I forget what it is. I think it's the end of March sometime. I'm actually being part of my very first book club Q&A questionnaire hosted in Red Deer, Alberta, for a small group of, I presume, around 10 or 15 people. So I'm going to record that event, and you can see what people have for questions about the trip and the bike. I presume it's going to be very colorful in a nice living room setting, and I've never been to a book club before. So if you have, please let me know what I should expect, because I don't really know what we're going to do other than get pummeled with questions about writing and trips and what your wife thought of this adventure. I think is going to be a hot topic that night. Yeah, if you actually want to buy more books, usually if you buy more than 5, it's quite a bit cheaper because the cost of shipping is almost the same. For, let's say, 1 book versus 5 or 10, the cost of shipping is almost identical. So for example, at Christmas time, we had an order for 20 books, and I think it was less than $15 Canadian a book to get those all shipped to one location. So somewhere around like around $5 savings per book. So that's like $100 off on that particular order, just because of the shipping costs. So if you're interested in getting, or even for the book club, actually, the book club bought, I think, 4 or 8 books as supplementary copies for that, and it was the same discount for that too. So if you're interested in buying, say, more than 5 or 105 or whatever for your school or your event, let me know. Just send me a message, and they're usually quite a bit cheaper to buy in bulk. It's also the beginning of March, and so in about 3 weeks, the Cross Canada road trip kicks off. When I was thinking about when to start, I was hoping to start early. I thought about maybe leaving the end of March, and at that time it was the middle of January and unseasonably warm. It was probably, I don't know, it was like 10 or 12 degrees outside for a couple of weeks, and I thought that was no problem. But since then it has dropped in temperature, and it was minus 32 last week Celsius, and snowed considerably. So the weather temperatures have changed quite a bit, and so has the environment around me. So weather pending, the road trip starts in about 3 weeks from now. Anyways, that's all for Claire updates. If you have any questions about color or black and white books, let me know. If not, I'll give you an update from book club in just a few weeks from now.